Several years, the Congress created about $1 trillion of bailout money, and they bailed out companies and banks and who knows what. But at least it was on the surface, and at least it was appropriated money. The Fed was involved with $15 trillion of churning credit, bailing out banks, foreign governments, foreign banks, and they're still in the business of it. Bernanke's been to Europe and already guaranteed that he will be available if the banks get into trouble and the banks have bought sovereign debt that's not worth anything, like Greek debt. At the same time, our banks are intertwined with the foreign banks, and they've been involved with the derivatives movement, and therefore they say it's necessary. They said if we don't keep bailing them out, there's going to be a depression. But have you ever wondered, maybe they deserve the depression, you don't deserve the depression. I think what we need is a reassurance that freedom really not only is popular, freedom really works, and it brings people together. That's why I think that freedom is so necessary. Because freedom and liberty emphasizes the individual. It comes to us as individuals, not because we belong to a group. This is why I do not like to use hyphenated rights. You know, everybody has equal rights, equal access to courts, not because we belong to a group or what we practice or do at all. It's because we're individuals, and everybody should be treated equally. And But if people understand that, literally we bring people together. First off, there are some people who understand the economic liberties, and we have a right to spend our money. So people who want their freedom to spend their money, they're not always the ones that want to protect your right to run your own social life as you choose. So if you bring people together because they want social, religious liberty as well as economic liberty, it should bring everybody together. Not because everybody would use their liberty in the same manner, but we recognize that in religion, people can practice any religion they want as long as they don't hurt people. So when it comes to social issues and religious issues, intellectual issues, it should bring us together. We should all come together to defend liberty, and then we get the chance to use liberty as we so choose. Are worried about that because some in Washington believe that you won't take care of yourselves and that the government will have to take care of you. But look at what's happening today. The government's been taking care of a lot of people for a long time. They wanted free education, free medical care, free housing, free food, and now we're broke. So I think the door is wide open for assuming responsibility for ourselves that we just get our freedoms back again. And one of the reasons why a lot of people reject the notion of having enough freedom to run your life as you choose, because somebody might do things that are offensive. But if somebody practices a religion or doesn't practice religion, we don't say you shouldn't have the freedom to do that. So what you need to do, if people use their freedom in a certain way, you have to be tolerant enough, and you have to say, well, we're not sanctioning what it is, we don't endorse what they do, and that's entirely different. That is the only way freedom will work. And without that tolerance and this understanding, it will fail. Now, the one thing that is pretty neat about the concept of liberty is I'm convinced personally, if I had a choice, between liberty and wealth, I would want my liberty. I just think that would be it. But unfortunately, our society has concentrated on the wealth and forgot about the liberty. Now we're losing both. But if you defend liberty, it's automatic that you'll have the richest country in the world, the biggest middle class, and the best distribution. Changes in a free society changes always can come. We can change our Constitution in a deliberate fashion. We shouldn't ignore it. But we should change other people and raise our children and get along with people through persuasion and setting examples. Once we resort to force, then we're in big trouble. And this is what we do individually. People are forcing people how they're supposed to run their lives, how they're supposed to spend their money, and we tell other countries how they're supposed to run their countries. Even when they mess up, we don't have the right to go into those countries and occupy their countries and say, you're going to do this, this, and this. those who want to go about the world in a military sense and force our way on others say that we should do it because we're an exceptional nation, American exceptionalism. And there is a bit of American exceptionalism. We have been a great country. We had a great constitution, and there are a lot of very good values in America. But once you use force to force it on other countries, you lose it all. You're no longer exceptional. So we have to do our job here to set an example, have a free and prosperous society, and then maybe people would want to emulate us. They're less likely to want to emulate us if we force ourselves on other people, and too much force in the world on individuals in the economy and around the world. And if we accept that, believe me, we could arrive at a much more peaceful and a much more prosperous society. John Adams says that be careful, we are giving you a republic, but if you're careful, it will be morphed into becoming a pure democracy where the majority dictates to the minority and they can take away your rights. I think we've morphed into a democracy now. We don't have a true republic. But he said if you do that, you'll know it when it comes, because then the society becomes very wasteful. It exhausts itself. He says eventually your society will murder itself. And he used that word, murder. And I keep thinking of what we're doing to our own civil liberties. Yes, we have a lot of fears and concerns, and there are some people who would want to do us harm, but we're doing more harm to ourselves. We're destroying our money. We're destroying our liberties. We're undermining our freedoms here at home. So, and we're murdering the middle class. So we don't have to do that. We don't have to invent anything new. We had a great example. It was wonderful, and we enjoyed it. But now we have to redefine the role of government. The government should not be there to run the welfare state nor to police the world. Our government should be there in a very limited fashion to defend our liberties. Belief that a goal in life ought to be for us to seek virtue and excellence. And I'm also convinced in a state-run situation or big government tyranny, you don't have much chance to do anything. So if that is the goal, it can best be achieved in a free society. But when government assumes this role that they're going to make us virtuous and work for excellence, believe me, they destroy the fabric of the society, and I'm afraid that's what we have seen now. We were warned at the time of the founding of our country that if we're not a virtuous people and we do not, live up to these principles, that we will lose it. The Constitution is good, but it isn't the Constitution that holds us together. It's the people's attitude and their willingness to assume responsibility of what a free society is all about. The good news... The very good news is that there is a revolution going on. It's an intellectual revolution. There's a political revolution. It has engaged many, many young people. It's spreading through the college campuses. It's spreading around the country because so many who have been disenfranchised in the past all of a sudden knows that there are people now talking about liberty and not talking about politics as usual. That is very encouraging. So I think there's every reason for us to be optimistic, but we have to be political activists, because if we say, yes, I agree with that, that's fine, but in Colorado right now, coming up shortly, there's going to be some voting going on. Now, if you believe in this and you think this message should be heard, let's send a message from Colorado that we believe in liberty, and that's what we want.
Lend your ears to me, from sea to shining sea, liberty in our hearts and in our minds. No time to hesitate, we've got a candidate to get behind. go find President Paul, President